pegang tak kan kita pergi kecil. Kalau anak tengok belak.
Kalau belak tak apa. Kalau
Tak apa, belak tak apa.
Alis
Dan
ya.
dia ada suara.
Ekor dah ni. Ekor dah.
Kata-kata rekod.
Assalamualaikum and very good morning. Kami daripada grup 3 lah, saya Dr. Natasha. Okay, so for our case, next like this. Okay, this is our group team. Alright, so our case summary. On 25th December 2022, patient was sent to scope room at 9 AM. ERCP was done in prone position by Dr. T. The tabletop of the fluoroscopy equipment was pulled forward during the procedure. ERCP completed at 9:30 AM, and subsequently the tabletop of the fluoroscopy equipment was shifted back to the neutral position. And then during the repositioning of the patient back to the original position, the left foot was crushed between the tabletop and the base of the table of the fluoroscopy equipment, and subsequently the patient sustained bleeding and open wound injury at the left leg. So basically our case is a multidisciplinary punya approach lah. It involved between the hepatobiliary and also the radiology team. So the title of our incident is crush fracture over the 5th metatarsal post ERCP, and we categorize the incident as adverse outcome of clinical procedure. Okay, so our team selection it consists of Dr. G, radiology, Dr. K is a hepatobiliary specialist, and then matron N, script at number 4, itu terlupa nak delete, and then Sister S and also GTN lah. Alright, so our plan, so for pictures, we will take the picture of the equipment, the fluoroscopy machine, ERCP tabletop. And then for interview, we require the Dr. T and team, Dr. A, the ICU MO, because this patient was initially from ICU, then was transferred for urgent ERCP at the radiology room lah. And then so Dr. A, the ICU MO, Dr. J, MAA, and Dr. Z, the MO radiology. And for documents, it will be from the patient PHT, consent form, patient X-ray, post-procedure. And then also we would like to revise to see the SOP of the pengendalian patient during special examination. Alright, so this is our sequence of events. So basically on the 25th at 9 AM at ICU, patient was sent to fluoroscopy room from ICU. Patient was sedated and also ventilated at that time. The person involved was Dr. A, Dr. G, and also MAA. Patient at the time also was put in supine position as the patient was ventilated. And then subsequently at 9:10 was arrival at the fluoroscopy room. So the person involved is also the same, and he was still in supine. And then subsequently 5 minutes later at 9:15, patient was transferred to tabletop and was put in a prone position on a fluoroscopy equipment on the tabletop basically, and the tabletop was pushed forward for ERCP examination. The person involved was Dr. A, Dr. J, MAA, and also the radiology team. So the patient at that time also was covered with blanket at the foot end, so after they transferred. And then the ERCP was done by Dr. Z. So after at around 9:30, the ERCP examination was completed and the tabletop was shifted back in neutral position. Okay, I think I think this one was atas. Okay, atas and bawah lah. So before returning back to before the tabletop was shifted back in neutral position, Dr. Z actually instructed the patient, the staff untuk tengok patient lah. So at the time, the instruction to look for patient safety prior to shifting it back to neutral position was unclear. And then subsequently after the tabletop was shifted back to neutral position, during repositioning of the patient, it was noted that there was bleeding and also open wound over the left leg. So the comment was patient position was not checked post-transfer. And then at around 9:40, portable X-ray of left knee and foot was done. It was noted to have left 5th metatarsal fracture. Okay, so our factors, right. So factors that lead to the incident, for our team factor, we think it's more of a verbal communication issue whereby there was unclear instruction because Dr. Zack only said tengok patient, so it wasn't very clear. And also there was unclear roles and also responsibilities in terms of who to check about patient safety post and pre-procedure, and also lack of supervision, or we could say lack of monitoring of the patient at the time. And then individual staff factors would be probably non-compliant to protocol and also SOP, and also unsafe behavior whereby there was lots of assuming and not asking for clarification, and especially after the doctors said tengok patient. And then patient factor, we do not blame the patient also. And then for task and technology factors, we think probably there's task design issue in terms of probably because from tabletop we were told that there is a strap. So probably in this incident the strap was not used, or maybe all the strap was loose at the time, so that's why the leg somehow probably was tangled. And then management and organizational factor, it probably inadequate safety culture and lack of priorities in safety. There's no work and environmental factor. Personal also there's nil. So this is a summary from what I've said just now. Next. Okay, so the 5 rules of causation. The cause. So first will be no checklist for patients handling during the ERCP procedure. So the effect will be missed to check the patient's condition throughout the procedure, and which leads to crash injury to the left 5th metatarsal. And then factor 2 is no specific designated person in charge to check on the patient position, which subsequently the effect is same, basically needs to check patient condition throughout the procedure and lead to the crash event. And also there's no refresher course given regarding the ERCP SOP, so we need to check the patient condition throughout the procedure and leading to the same event. So this is our list of course as I said just now. So our strategies, okay, so this is our action plan. So in view of, we said that there's no checklist for patient handling during ERCP procedure and no specific designated person in charge to check on the patient position. Our action plan is to review back the SOP and to add a section on designated person in charge in ensuring patient position and emphasize the usage of straps. So the hierarchy we say is intermediate, and also the person responsible will be the HOD of hepatobiliary, specialist H for hepatobiliary, and also the radiology team. So the evidence probably the revised SOP and also checklist, and we give a expected completion date of about 6 months. And then next would be the no refresher course given regarding the ERCP SOP. So the action plan is basically to conduct refresher course together with hands-on. Hierarchy-wise also we think it's intermediate, and the person in charge same, the HOD of hepatobiliary specialist, sister, and also MA. And then our evidence will be attendance list, pre-test and post-test, and also feedback form, and this is to be expected to be completed within 3 months. So in summary, our lesson learned basically is to ensure all healthcare workers are well versed with SOP, to ensure clear and effective communication among team members, and to instill patient safety mindset among healthcare workers. That's all.
Thank you. Anyone from the audience would like to add or ask anything about this? Kes ni kes yang betul tapi bukan kat hospital Selayang lah. Kaki tersepit, kaki luka waktu patah. Buat ERCP. Date dia buat ialah time waktu hari cuti, public holiday. Typical lah, tak cukup orang. Dr. Niva nak tahu apa-apa? Ni sini macam dia ada Anes, ada datang kena company semua-semua ni. Anything? Okay. Okay, in terms of the root cause and action plan, anything? Would you like to add anything? Mungkin Boleh tengok balik action plan untuk root cause or anything. Dah tengok action table plan. Mungkin doktor nak tambah or anything.
I think most important is actually the checklist, the checklist for patient handling. So whenever you do movement of a patient, you need to have a checklist. But someone need to check when the position. That's what we do in OT as well. Correct. So in operation theatre, the NS is the leader, and we really ask the other team to move the patient on our say. So any movement of patient, we make sure the lines, make sure the hands are all kept on the patient. And before movement, we have to say count 1, 2, 3, and then move. So I guess in any other remote area, we need a checklist as well. And who to say, the role it should be very clear, who will be the leader of asking for if there's any movement of patient.
Alright, thank you Dr. That's why bila ada SOP, meaning bila you nak review balik SOP, memang SOP tu dah ada, tapi dalam flow tu mungkin tak tahu siapa punya role, NS ke, fluoroskopi ke, radiology team ke, dan sebagainya. Mungkin benda tu dah ada tapi tak diperincikan. Alright, so anyone, mungkin doktor nak tambah apa? Anything about this? Ada? Let's Shani nak tambah apa? Kes ni kes bila saya pergi pun saya tengok pun macam oh okay, unfortunate lah, tapi dia one after another dan outcome dia jadi severe lah sebab patah kan. Okay, tak ada apa. Group rasa okay ke? Group 5 rasa bagus action plan yang ada. Okay, alright. Alright, thank you so much Group 5. Okay, tepuk tangan untuk group 5. Alright, bukan senang sebab